Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we have a new interesting content for you. Who said what of two different team principals, the team principal of McLaren, Andrea Stella, and the team principal of Red Bull, Christian Horner. We're going to listen to both of them, and then I'm gonna give the honest opinion of mine. Whatever happened to the race at Austin Grand Prix? We're gonna listen to both of them and then see what they said about the situations over there. Let's listen and then we will move on.
Word, obviously a fantastic bit of motor racing. Everybody was on the edge of their seats. A shame it had to end that way. What was your view?
My view is that the way the stewards interfered with a beautiful piece of motorsport was inappropriate because both cars went off track, so both cars gained an advantage. It's a shame because it cost us a podium. It cost us a race where we stayed patient after we were pushed off in the first lap, first corner. We accepted it. Having said very clearly our position, this kind of decision by the stewards cannot be appealed. For us, the chapter is now closed and we move on to the next race.
I mean, we've seen those decisions given by the stewards. They have form for giving people penalties like this. Indeed, Lando seemed to say on the radio, well, if you told me that there was a doubt that we might get a 5-second penalty, tell me, I'll give Max the place back. The Austria situation, I can give him the place back and then maybe try in the last 2 laps. Was that something that ever entered your head, you guys on the pit wall here?
We double-checked that both cars went off track, so for us there was no doubt that the maneuver was correct. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Wow. So definitely Lando Norris said to his team engineer, if there is a wrongdoing of mine at that corner, so please tell me, then I can re-attack Max at the last 2 laps. But as Andrea Stella is saying, that we double-checked the situation, we double-checked the position, and then we saw that there is no wrongdoing, and we gave the green light to Lando Norris to overtake. But clearly that was something wrong of the team, and they didn't check really good, because as the information is circulating is saying that Max Verstappen was the first one to enter the apex, and by the rules of FIA, whoever enters the apex first, that driver has the advantage, and whoever enters the second, the driver is not allowed to overtake if they go out of line, both of cars, like in this situation. We will move on after this, and we'll see what Christian Horner has to say about the situation. But clearly we see Andrea Stella is really angry with the FIA stewards with that decision that they took about penalizing Lando Norris with 5 seconds that caused him to lose the 3rd place. That's very frustrating when you see at one side, but it is what it is. The rules are the rules and you cannot break them, but whatever the situation might be. If they would have said to Lando Norris to give the position back to Max Verstappen, I don't doubt that Lando Norris could have had a better chance of overtaking Max in the last 2 laps, because Lando had fresher tires, the slick fresher tires in a contrary of Max Verstappen, and it could have had better chances to overtake Max in other corners in the last couple of laps. We'll move on now to Christian Horner. Let's see what he says, and then we will come back and give our honest opinion about it. Let's go.
May well accept that, but still, I suppose, a mini win. Let's get straight into it. The incident, were you fully expecting after the overtake off the track for McLaren to give the place back and then have to try and do it again? What was your take on it?
Well, look, obviously it was hard racing between them. They've gone off the circuit there, and Lando's passed off the circuit, and the rules are very, very clear. So Max was obviously straight on the radio. The race director was pretty clear. You can see he goes out of track limits. That's actually, I think, the next lap. That's at the 12. Clearly off the circuit. So
both cars went off the circuit,
but
you can't overtake.
Well, I know, this is the thing. So it's frustrating for us watching because it's like Lando overtook him off the track, but then Max went off the track. And it's all about who's in front at the apex. And Max was in front, but is that because he let off the brake at the apex, or he ran them both off track? It seems that your driver just is very good at understanding the regulations. Yeah. And it's more of the problem that we just need to have a better regulation of what is okay and what isn't. And we saw it with many fights on track in that corner. Yeah. Guys overtaking, putting it down the inside, just driving the other guy off the track. Yeah. And if it was Monaco, they wouldn't do that. So it's like we need a rule that you cannot push another car completely off the track. And then I think we could have some better racing and we wouldn't have to keep talking about this.
Look, I can understand the frustration, but at the end of the day, the rules are the rules. The drivers know that. They're driving, accordingly. And Max was acutely aware that as soon as Lando went over that white line off track and overtook, that's illegal. And so, he was straight on the radio. I think before that, there was some track limits as well. So there was a whole bunch of things going on at that point in time.
I don't think it's totally clear in the rules. That's why it takes them so long to decide what's going on. But what it doesn't take into account is the intention of what's going on and the fact that you only have to drive them further off track so you can get their exit. Would you agree and think it was fair if there had to be a lane for the car that was alongside of you instead of going off, staying on track, both cars?
Well, look, I think the problem is you've got to look at the nature of the corner. You've got a 90-degree corner there. So unless you change the profile or change where the limit of the circuit is, you're always going to have this argument about what's in and what's out.
But you know how far you have to be alongside or past a car going into a hairpin. If you're going to a hairpin and you're even halfway up, you're going to go for the crossover. Yeah. That's how far he was up on him. And I can't blame Max because the rules obviously rolled out like they did. But it's more about in the future, what if it was reversed in the other situation? Would you think it was a fair result to have
We've had it the other way around. I think, Max versus Kimi a few years ago on the last lap, and he lost the place. And I think that, look, it's tough when you're on the receiving end of it, and it's that just remember the drivers spend hours and hours talking about these things in the drivers' briefing with the stewards, and so they come to a conclusion of the rules that they think are right and applicable, and they all know what they are because they're all on the radio immediately about track limits, et cetera, et cetera.
Role reversal then.
Yeah.
Let's say it was the other way round and you were on 6 lap fresher tyres and Max had overtaken Lando off track. Would you have immediately said, give the place back?
I think with the hindsight of what we've seen, the way that these things play out, yes, I would have, because you can see the pace advantage that Lando had. And there was always going to be doubts about that. And for us, it looked like a slam dunk. So, why take the risk? To have that pace advantage could have quite easy, another lap, you could have probably done it again. But up the inside rather than the outside.
It actually looked like they were thinking about it. Did you not see into the last corner? It looked like Lando slowed down and he was thinking about letting him pass and then thought, nah.
After the pass had happened, yes. To me, it looked, and then they all got tangled up at turn 1. So it looked like he was about to let him pass because it was very unusual what happened up there.
Overall, though, pretty decent day. Checo's 7th, good day for points, but Ferrari had an amazing day for points. Was that a shock to you how fast they were today?
Well, look, I think Ferrari have been fast all weekend, and we've got to congratulate them on a dominant display today. We lost a bit of pace from yesterday. I think probably some of the changes that we made after the sprint race have put a bit of understeer into the car, which we didn't have yesterday. So we got to take the lessons from that. And Ferrari were at a different in a different league today.
Okay, we're just having a quick look there. Yeah, Ferrari have got to within 8 points in the constructors, and yet a net gain of 3 for Max on Lando in the drivers. So how do you balance out this weekend when you put your feet up on your plane a little bit later?
Well, look, I think you've got to look at it overall. I mean, in terms of Max on Lando, he's put +5 points with the sprint race, yesterday. So that's a net win, for him. So that's very positive. He come here. He qualified on pole for the sprint, won the sprint, should have been on pole, for the main race, but started on the front row. The only place where we've under-delivered is on our race pace. So I think overall the team's done a good job. We've made a bit of a step forward. We know that there's areas we need to work on. For Checo, we really need to be have the delta between the two drivers closer, because you can see two Ferraris, two McLarens, they're hunting in pairs.
Keep saying that though, Christian, don't we? And then you look at Liam Lawson's drive today from 19th. He made the one-stop work. Brilliant display from him today. What do you take from that? And how much pressure is he now? I mean, look, it's one drive, yes. But what do you think about this as you go to Checo's home Grand Prix?
Well, it's a sample of one, and I thought he jumped in and he looked like a veteran, to be honest with you. I mean, he's a great racer. I think he can be very happy with that drive today. I thought he drove a great Grand Prix. I mean, starting 19th, finishing in the points. Some great overtakes, so he should be pleased with that.
He upset Fernando Alonso, so he's a feisty character on track, don't you?
Yeah, when you're upsetting Fernando, you know that you're doing something right. So he's a tough, hard racer.
There we go. Well done. It was a brilliant display, wasn't it, from him? And I suppose that gives you some food for thought as you make a few decisions going forward. Thanks, Christian, for your time.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you.
Well, okay, we have 2-3 topics that were covered from Mr. Horner, but first of all, let's talk about the situation between Lando and Max. And as I said before, Lando got penalized by his team, not penalized. He got penalized 2 times. Like, first mistake was that his team didn't clearly see the position, the situation, how it went, because Max clearly was in front of the apex and Lando didn't have to push and try to overtake him from the outside and out of the line, and that what got him penalized. So the biggest problem is not Lando's mistake, is that his team made the mistake by not telling him exactly how the situation was, by not downgrading their ego, let's say like that. And Christian Horner said it really well. If that situation would have been vice versa, I would clearly say to Max, like, let him go and try to overtake him on another lap, on another position, because we have a 6th lap fresher tires, and that is more logical than what it happened between Lando and Max in that particular position. It's really sad about it, but it is what it is. Rules are rules, and you cannot break them for nothing. Horner also congratulated Ferrari's 1-2. He said that we found a little bit of pace in the last couple of races that we had. In this particular race, we found a little bit of pace. It gave us a really big confidence when Max won the sprint, but then we knew that Ferraris were fast all weekend and there were nothing to do about it, and congratulations to them. They were like furious. On the other hand, he also congratulated Liam, and he didn't how do I say, he didn't end that situation, that possibility that Liam could join Red Bull in the seat of Checo Perez. Who knows? Because, as he said, he got into the race, he got into the car, and he looked like a veteran. And also, he said, if you are able to make Fernando Alonso angry, then you gotta be doing something right. I think that's it, everyone, and hopefully you will like this video as much as I liked it commenting on it, because it was a really interesting topic and interesting situation between the two of the drivers that are fighting for the Drivers' Championship. Also, 2 teams that are fighting for the Construction Championship. Now we have 3 teams that are fighting for the Construction Championship, with Ferrari joining Red Bull and McLaren. Either way, thank you everyone for watching this video with us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe our channel if you have something to add up, or if you have another idea or another honest opinion of yours, comment down below and we will discuss it together. Until the next one, ciao.